Hey guys, next video in this How to EQ Necromancer, I guess, series. I've been talking about this one for a bit. I finally have a name spawn. It's our favorite one that I always seem to catch is Servant of the Sleeper. Um, I have just cleared this 2 times and got lucky. He showed up on the third chance. What I'm going to do in this video is go through my massive burn. I've got 2 burns. I call one big burn and one just, I guess you'd call it small burn, but it's just kind of a crit increase. But burns are where I think we're near the top from what I occasionally read on the EverQuest forums. Necromancer DPS output on burns is, top 3 or 4 on most raids. Now, I'm not raiding, but to me, a named boss is a raid because it's cool to kill big old dragons. So for a burn, the things that I look for are an increase to your dot critical chance, an increase into your dot critical damage, and then your overall your base dot damage increase. And then there's some other buffs that come along with that. So the way I do that is I have a prep burn macro, which covers 3 self buffs: Mercurial Torment, Focus of Arcanum, and Twin Cast. And as you can see on the screen, Mercurial Torment reduces cast time, which we're also going to have up our Tribute, which is Visions and Power. So our cast time is reduced. I don't know if they stack, but I've got a billion tributes, so I keep it running. Focus of Arcanum, it lowers the resist check on the spell. So I don't know if it does much, especially on a mob that's let's say it's a fire elemental. I don't think casting it's going to suddenly get fire dots to stick, but on those off chances of maybe a named has a high resist variable, hopefully the focus helps. And then twin cast is something everybody should know about, but it casts the spell twice, and for dots that's huge. So those are the prep that I go through. Then on my big burn macro, it's Hand of Death, Intensity of Resolute, and Spire of Necromancy. And those they're pretty basic. I get as I said before, we want crit chance increase, crit damage increase, and then base dot damage. So as you can see on the screen, Hand of Death does a base dot damage increase. Intensity does a crit chance increase, and then Spire does your crit. The damage total of your crit is increased. Intensity is the one I use on my big burn. It has like a 4, maybe 5 hour cooldown. So sometimes, if you've got back to back, or even just you have a couple named in a row, you're going to have to use your robes, which do basically just as good a job. So there's really not a problem with that. So that's my burn. I've got a few other things. I'll go with silent casting. If I use Gathering Dusk for some more DPS, that basically eliminates the silent casting buff. I've got my different robes and my different pets that I'll utilize. For Jobber, he will get pet power, which I've gone over plenty of times, but that increases basically his defense and his offense. So the goal is to get Assert for Blood to proc chaotic power, and so some guides or some necromancers will tell you not to hit twin cast until you're ready to put on your dots. But I've found I want to go ahead and hit twin cast and hit my direct damage assert, because then it casts it twice, so I've got 2 chances to get chaotic power. I want chaotic power on immediately. I want all my dots hitting max damage right away. The one thing I do different on a burn is I will I will skip the disease, the double disease dot for my first cast. I will go Pyre, Oblivion, and sometimes I'll even jump right down to Composite and then go to Poisons and then go to back to disease and then put on the small fires. And that's because I want those big hitters to hit right away if the crit damage increase is, through the roof. I don't want the check to be on a disease low damage dot or a low damage fire. I want it to be on Pyre. I want it to be on Composite. I want it to be on Oblivion. So, again, real fast rundown. I will pull the mob with Darkness. This mob won't. It's not snareable. I will hit debuff, but sorry, I got ahead of myself. I will hit Silent Cast and I'll hit Prep Burn. I will buff Jobber with what he needs. Then I'll pull with Darkness. I'll hit debuff. On a name like this where I have to belly cast, I'll pull with Darkness and send Jobber and then debuff because I have to get right underneath him. But anyway, enough of all that. I'm going to put it in practice right now. I will hit Silent. I will hit Prep. You can see Merc, Focus, Heretics. I'll hit Pet Power. Because it's a name, I hit Dread Shield. I'll pull with Snare. I'll send Jobber. Jobber's in. I'll hit Senathul. I'll hit Big Burn. And here we go. I know you won't see a lot of this. They'll be scrolling by so fast. And I just realized my debuff didn't stick. I'm already, this burn's already not going to be max, so that's unfortunate. I did finally go ahead and get Chaotic Power up there, so that's good. I will come back around to hitting Assert. I've got a few of those first dots blinking. Looks like I skipped Pallid Haze. Overall, this has not been a good burn. Didn't even bother with hitting any of my pets or my robes. But we dropped this guy and we got really, really lucky. This was a good one to get because he dropped Crystallized Volume Ore, which is, it's usually you have to do missions or raids to get it. That's great. I'm now going to be able to make one of these Augs, which will be a great upgrade. Either the hit point Aug, or I got too much stuff up. Anyway, I'll be able to create those. I'm really happy to see this drop. So I hope that burn kind of explains it. You want to. I'm going to send this out into general. So again, in general for a burn, you want to self-buff, you want to hit dot critical increase chance, dot critical damage chance, and then your base dot damage chance. I'm going to load up Gamparse. I didn't have it running during, which is really poor of me. I don't know why it wasn't. I will load from the last 6 hours. And for Servant of the Sleeper, the total time was 76 seconds. The total sustained DPS was 1,262,820. The max hit was 3,052,000 and some change. So I've had bigger burns. I had a few mistakes on this one because I was so focused on trying to get all the information out for the video. I did not click my Snowbound robe, which does the next 10 spells add additional 50,000, which is, that adds up fast. Didn't send my rabbit or my drowned mariner. I didn't summon the dead mobs I have around me for extra DPS. I didn't throw skeleton pets. I mean, all in all, I probably left another 100, maybe 150,000 DPS on the table. I could have potentially gotten, 1-3 or 1-4, which on a yellow con mob solo for a necro is that's a lot of damage, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm missing something, and there's better burns out there. But to me, this is the best setup I have found. It will tear through just about anything that Jobber can handle. If Jobber needs assistance, then it's hard. It's hard to get the dots on because you're wasting twin cast by using your pet heal. You're wasting twin cast by using Dread Shield, and that's why I've had zero success with Tier 2 named in the CoV expansion. So if I can get Jobber a little beefier, or maybe if I get my Merc healer a little smarter, then I think I'm going to be able to drop those CoV Tier 2 named soon. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody. I'll try to put in the description everything that I've said, that I probably said 2 or 3 times. I'll go through that step by step, and I'll see you guys in the next video.